To start with, I maintain that to prepare a coastal zone management plan is much needed and long overdue. That being said, it is very important that this plan, when prepared, is technically sound and correct. It is because civil society in Goa understand the importance of this plan, they demand that the CZMP is accurate and reflective of the ground realities. I cannot stress enough, because I work in the field of architecture and planning, how important it is that plans are built on a solid framework. It is necessary that the consultant works on site. And we have seen from other work that NCSCM has done, they are capable of doing really detailed and really amazing work. So the rubbish, honestly the rubbish that has come out as our Goa draft CZMP is a disgrace to actually very capable organization. Now what has happened is that us, local architects, local environmentalists, local citizens have taken so much of time out of our day to do this organization's work. You think about, forget about your public waste of money to put up all of these screens and all. We could be contributing to the economy right now, but instead we are doing the homework of the state. It would be far wiser in the future that you at least start to take us in mind. I mean, my presentation is going to be based on a topic that I think some people are covering, which are calling archaeological sites, but I have titled it Built Heritage in a Coastal Zone. While representations about our natural environment have been made in great detail, this report will briefly discuss built heritage in the coastal zones of Goa. The CZMP is a plan that is mindful of ecology. What does that mean? An ecological plan does not only consider humans, the built and the natural environment around them, it also has to consider how humans interact with this environment. Now we know that 40% of Goa's landmass is technically built because it's been reclaimed from the intertidal zone through the Khazan system. By the construction of Khazans, channels, bunds, marshes, our ancestors have created fertile agriculture and dwelling lands from the water. 80% of our state's population lives in this zone and has historically done so. And we have recently seen data from the Indian Space Research Organization, ISRO, which shows that this 40% of the state can be underwater by 2040. So to have strong coastal protection is the need of the hour right now. Your CRZ notification mentions 11 items as CRZ 1A. Each of these are called ecological sensitive areas. And each one needs to not only be mapped in your plan, but they need to have accompanying them a detailed environmental management plan. Number 11 is called Areas and Structure of Archaeological Importance and Heritage Sites. Presently, we have environment management plans for sea turtles, mangroves, a few items there, but there's no environment management plan for our built heritage, which is a grave injustice. So how to do this? Now I'm going to give you also how to do this. You have to do it in 3 steps. First you do an inventory, then you do mapping, and then you prepare this management plan. Inventory and mapping have to happen simultaneously. The primary stakeholders are the Archaeological Survey of India, State Directorate of Archives, Town and Country Planning, all the village panchayats, all the biodiversity committees, and other historians, technical professional experts and citizens of Goa. Built heritage in Goa, we have over 422 legally notified sites, 21 ASI protected monuments, 54 state protected monuments, 347 buildings and sites of historic and aesthetic importance protected under the Goa Regulation of Land Development and Building Construction Act 2008. You know how many are shown in your report? 13. It's a joke. It's a joke. And from our estimates, at least 60 to 70 of these sites will end up in the report because historically we've all lived in these areas. Some of the notable missing sites are St. Peter's Church in Paneli, the fort at Malar, the fort wall at Rashol, and some buildings of the Panjim Conservation Zone. So then we also have another notified document which is called the People's Biodiversity Register, PBR. It's a statutory document. It also mentions additional cultural heritage sites, and these sites too need to be mapped. Some examples that have come up in PBR discussions are Panjim Lighthouse, Kala Academy, Spring at Kandoli. All of these need to reflect in a map, and you can't just draw them in a map because different heritage sites have different values. So you have to do what's called a grading on top of that. There are multiple examples of this also being done by Goa Heritage Action Group, Charles Correa Foundation in Goa. So you can pick them up and just follow their lead. One thing that our group has done is we've done a case study of the Say Old Goa Village Panchayat. During review of these 1 to 4,000 scale maps, we have noticed multiple discrepancies related to built heritage. We've noticed that only one heritage site, the Church of St. Cajetan, has been marked in your map. But we found another 5 that fall within the CRZ buffer lines and have been missed out. The Viceroy's Arch, which interestingly is in your report but not in your map. There's Lago of St. Cajetan, which is the garden that surrounds the Church of St. Cajetan and contains the ruins of the Viceroy's house. There is the Arch of Adil Shah. There is Church of St. Peter in Paneli. It's one of the oldest churches in Goa. There's Casa de Polvora, which is the old gunpowder factory, also in Paneli. For effective management, it is recommended to organize maps in accordance with administrative boundaries. See, you're giving us maps by revenue villages, but in Tiswadi, one big problem is that village panchayat of Old Goa, for example, consists of part of revenue village Chintai, part of revenue village Paneli, and then full revenue village Belgini and Ella. So who's going to do this sticking work? Again, citizens have to do this sticking work for you all, find out where the boundaries of the villages are. It has to be administrative, right? You're administering through an elected representative, through an elected village panchayat. So why are you showing revenue boundaries for a management plan? Let's go to management plan. Each of the 11 items notified in 1A need to be mapped and supplemented by a detailed environmental management plan. There is significant built heritage along Goa's coastline, and most of these sites are at risk. These sites are at risk because of what we call vulnerability factors. What are these vulnerability factors? First, the climate change is leading to erratic weather. See, monsoons, they rain, suddenly we get bright sun. Sea level is rising, we all know that. There is what's called salt attack or saline ingress. Because of the evaporation, our air is salty, that gets inside the cement, inside the chuna, and it rots the building from the inside. Our water table is changing and we're getting upthrust from the ground. That is one of the damages that's affecting Kala Academy right now. We have increasing runoff of water due to an erosion because of the amount of concretization that's happening here. And because of more and more traffic and construction, we have vibration damage as well. This is all leading to what we call a loss of significance and authenticity of our heritage structures, and it's being made worse due to unplanned tourism activities. So, a management plan for Goa's coastal heritage sites is in the interest of the state and the citizens because it can inform the state's climate policy, because it is very, very, very crucial that when the next regional plan comes on the table, which might happen soon, this CZMP has to give them the data of the coastal zones, right? So if this map itself is wrong, what's going to come into our regional plan? And then this CZMP is supposed to bridge the information gap between all of the various departments, TCP, CZMA, ASI, Water Resources Department, for effective working. So long as each department is not having a single paper on which to refer, there's going to be a lot of confusion. Comprehensive CZMPs will protect our culture and ecology by informing regulations required for coastal built environment. Each one of these sites must consist of what we are calling a conservation management plan, cultural resource conservation and management plan. This will, so if we find, for example, 60 heritage sites in the coastal zone boundaries, each one of these needs to have detailed documentation of the structure, condition assessment and structural safety audit, assessing significance and grading of the structure, risk assessment, conservation strategy, maintenance and management plan, monitoring timelines and periodic updates in accordance with new vulnerabilities as and when they arise. Over here I've even put in a case study of what the government of Scotland has done. Amazing work for preserving a sea fort which is under a lot of pressure due to climate change. This has been submitted to your office today morning. So these are our expectations in terms of built heritage. The coastal zone management plan must guide the development of the state for a sustainable future. The impetus of the plans must be focused on conservation that is development oriented. That means the conservation should be equated to managing change. The study of built character and spatial founding within the identified areas should dictate the formulation of building bylaws in those areas. development that is ecologically appropriate. A characteristic feature of our traditional settlements is the environmental and ecological equilibrium, which is now being destroyed due to unplanned development. Development that can reduce the dependence on materials, skills and technology that is native to that area. Each of our historic towns and villages have a lot of skills which have come out of creative use of local materials and giving a harmonious build-up. We need to revive the traditional building methods. This is the most evident in the case of all the bunds that the WRB are repairing right now, where they're just pouring concrete. You see, a bund is a structure that needs to breathe. I think somebody said that architects and civil engineers need to weigh on this, so I'll give a little bit of input onto this. A bund is a structure that is non-stop taking the brunt of waves in and out. It needs to be porous. You can't just pour concrete, because there are also animals that make their homes inside of the rocks and the cracks in the traditional bunds, in the chikol. As soon as you start to make a concrete bund, nothing can live on that. So then it's going to start breaking. The mangroves which grow along our traditional bunds, they break down the waves and make it much smoother. So lastly, implementation needs to be coordinated. Potential scenarios of planned development while conserving and enhancing the environment and benefiting economic prosperity through planned tourism for locals are plentiful. Each village and town can boast of many historic and ecologically rich areas. We hope that the CZMA and the NCSCM can incorporate these points in our thing. I have a few more points that I will speak on behalf of Citizens and Biodiversity Committee of Village Panchayat Neora, because this is also something that we've been working on now since 2019, when we made a representation to GCZMA, and then again in 2021 we made a representation to GCZMA. So these are our letters. VPN this 2019-20 number 502 on the 29th August 2019, and then we wrote another letter, VPN this 2020-21 1202, dated 15th March 2021. Yeah, 2 times we've written to you all with corrections of to the plan, basic stuff that we found on the ground. My time is running out, but I can touch on it, and I think my colleagues later will also come and stress on these same points. But I'll go ahead. Yeah, I'll go ahead. So when we got a map in March 2021, none of the changes that and corrections that we gave in 2019 were drawn. We showed you barns that were missing, we showed you khazans that were missing in 2019. Why were they not put in the 2021 plan? Oh, I don't know, NCSCM's member is here, but I would expect when you give your answers that this is also given. Tell us why you're just ignoring our suggestions, right? This is a public plan. You need to consult the public. You can't call yourself a national institute and then we give you suggestions 2 years before. 2 years before, and what do you do with them? You sit on them and you give us the same map again. The draft CZMPs do not show any of our activities, any of our resources. We are trying to go out of our way to help you, and this is what you are doing. I mean, I'll start with these. Khazans have been omitted, obviously, because somebody from Chennai doesn't understand what khazans are. Khazans are a unique, intrinsic part of built heritage. It is land that we have built and reclaimed from the sea, and is only found in Goa. Kerala has a similar system, but that is less than 300 years old. Our khazans are over 1,500 years old. They are so important to us, and then they are just arbitrarily marked. I don't know from where you got the data, but then the departments also should come to a village, no? If anybody comes to our village, we'll take you and we'll show you landforms that, especially in Neora Piken, where not one khazan is shown, we found so many khazans. We'll show you all. Come, inviting you, just come with us. Contact me. Some of your members have my number. We'll take you around. We'll show you all the khazans. Barns. I don't know how barns are just ending in the middle of the khazan fields. They're not going all the way to the river, to the main barn. And it's not like it's a break in the barn, which is okay. We know that there are some places where barns are broken. But then you've shown a barn and then randomly it stops in the middle of a field. It should continue at least. You can show the small broken portion. You don't end the barn with the broken portion. We've marked all of these in the map we've submitted, so I'm not going to waste too much time. 2 sluice gates in village Neora Grand have been omitted. Water bodies in the Khazan lands have been
time is up.